Hey guys, what is up? It is Hoku. Welcome to my channel if you're new here, or welcome back if you've already subscribed, or you've been here before. If you haven't gone ahead and hit that subscribe button, go ahead and click on it. It's not gonna hurt you to have me in your life. Anyway, besides all of that, I was gonna come on here and record a bit earlier today when I had some things on my mind and on my heart to share in regards to this developing case that's been heavily watched recently about a missing girl turned potential murder victim. But Spirit told me just check yourself, girl. Hold up. Wait a minute. Don't speak on that just yet, because I was feeling a lot of personal trauma and personal emotions come up as a former foster care child. I know I touched on a little bit of my childhood, not really a lot. In a previous video I did, I think it was about parenting and just generational curses and trauma, and how all of that stuff will bubble up. All of those triggers and traumas will always come up. They will always come to the light to be looked at, to be examined, to be transmuted. And I just needed a minute. I still need a minute to kind of sift through all of those feelings. So I don't know if I'm going to really go into details about that, but what the case so far, the developing details of the case so far, really brought up within me today, that I was able to kind of look at a little bit more deeply. Instead of the anger, the frustration with the system, the resentments that come up when you're looking at a case about a missing child turned possible murder victim, especially at the hands of adoptive parents. When you're looking at something like that, it is a triggering case. It is something that is going to, for most people, for most empathetic people, it's going to bring up that sense of just disappointment and sadness and despair and feelings that there could have been more done. It's going to bring those emotions up within us. And as it was doing that for me, instead of really getting emotional, like releasing the built up tears, I really looked at it because I was a child that was in a situation, or had an upbringing that wasn't free of toxicity. We'll just say that, because and I had a chance to speak to my mom today, and I was just bringing up the fact that, you know, these things, these traumas exist within our blood. It exists when we are in our mother's wombs. The traumas that we are experiencing in life, or that we've had to experience in life, it's all going to be passed down. And I don't want to continue those lines of trauma. But as a mother who has had to kind of blindly find my way through motherhood without the best examples, or without really a what I would say proper guidance, it's made me more, what's the word, protective is what I would say. I think overprotective is what someone else that doesn't understand what I've been through may see. Strict, harsh. And I get that. I understand that perspective and why anyone would think that of my parenting style. Because it very well may be, because that was the environment I was raised on. And I'm sure the environment that raised me, because like I said in the other video, I was raised by an auntie. I'm sure her childhood, through her eyes and through her inner child, wasn't the best. Her mother, according to the few conversations that I've had, or I've remembered growing up, wasn't very motherly. And so she mothered me, even though she wasn't my true mother. She was a guardian. I was still in foster care, but it was a relative that had raised me. I want to give her the benefit of the doubt and say that she probably did a better job as a mother than her own mother had done raising her. But there was still pain, there was still trauma I could sense in her mothering of me that was harsh, that was cold, that was resistant to the warmth of love, especially for a child that isn't yours. And that's not to point fingers and bash and complain, but it's definitely to take accountability for the situation, I guess. To also shine light on the situation, that these are the circumstances and situations that we are brought up in, and some worse than others. And I was having a conversation with my son instead of coming on here and talking to you guys about, you know, everything that was going through my mind and my heart and my spirit about this case, things that were bubbling up about my childhood and memories. A lot of my memories are foggy and fragmented, but I ended up sounding off on the importance of forgiveness, and that parents are literally just older children, and that sometimes we struggle when we do not heal, when we do not take the time in our youth and in our young adulthood to really heal from the trauma. It's going to continue to get perpetuated, and that's probably my biggest regret as a parent. My regret is not having my children. My regret is having my children when my spirit was still toxic. And I'm not a bad person. I'm not somebody that has all of these dark, deep secrets, but the environment, the history, the generational history that lives in my bloodline is deep, and it's wounded, and it's painful, and it emerges in my parenting style. It emerges in spaces within me that I'm like, ooh, girl. Remember I talked about this in another video, and I was like, you gotta lift up that couch, that sofa, and clean out all the dust bunnies and clean out all the shit that be under the couch. Because if you don't, I mean, shit might look okay on the surface and with a quick glance, but deep underneath the cushions or deep under the couch, there's some shit that really needs to be cleaned out, cleared out, renewed, or just chucked, you know, trashed, gotten rid of, things that don't serve you. I mean, if I'm making any sense, please let me know, because right now I just got a lot of things, a lot of things pouring into my spirit right now that I wasn't really anticipating, because although these things were fresh earlier in the day and I wanted to speak on it, Spirit told me, hold the motherfucking phone, girl. Breathe these feelings, breathe these emerging memories, breathe this emotion that you're feeling in connection with, tied to this case, because you need it. Because instead of just rushing and trying to blah, 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 spew out, regurgitate whatever Spirit is saying in the moment, it's not exactly for everyone. So I just wanted to touch on that, because I felt such a connectivity with the case, but there has been hundreds of thousands of cases like this, where the system lets a lot of kids down by not looking into the foster parents, the adoptive parents, by not looking deeper into complaints and family member testimonies and things that people try to report. Like, I know that things get hectic and busy, and just, it's the system, and it's like, oh, well, we got to wait for this to get pushed through, or for this document to be signed or stamped or whatever, you know, taken to court, whatever the case may be with the system. It runs deeper than that, and there's so many wounded, traumatized, sick, non-empathetic people in this world, and unfortunately they work in these places, in these spaces where our children are vulnerable to not only the corruption, but the sickness, the dis-ease, the mental dis-ease and health issues. And unfortunately, like this girl that I was reading about, unlike myself, never made it through the system. You know, I remember being her age and just wanting to be part of a family, just wanting to, if I do good, and if I, you know, if I can do everything that they say for me to do, and if I could just be the type of child that they talk about wanting and talk about being ideal, then I can stay. I can have this life that's somewhat normal, right? And so a lot of my life, I mean, it wasn't playing a role, because I would say I'm a pretty good person. I think even from a young age, my aunt even saw these spiritual gifts, tendencies, insights, intuitions. She was able to see that within me and sort of help guide me along the way. But, you know, I was so desperate for that idealism of a family, because it definitely wasn't something that I came from. I remember being this girl's age and just wanting to do my best so that I wouldn't be gotten rid of. And when I think of that now, I'm like, some kids barely even got a chance to start at being good. You know, unfortunately, I was reading that this girl, she used, according to the older siblings' testimonies, this girl used to, I guess, in the middle of the night kind of go and sneak food because she would be hungry. Maybe the parents hadn't really been feeding her or sustaining her, obviously, in a healthy manner. So she would sneak food. I kind of remember doing that too. All right, sorry, slight interruption, but I'm not sure where I was going with the whole sneaking food direction. But I think it was just in the manner of feeling a lack of nourishment, not being sustained, not being supported, not being fed life, literally, figuratively, physically. And that comes up in a lot of situations I've noticed, where kids who are in a foster care environment or in an adoptive environment will exhibit those behaviors. And like I said, I mean, I kind of did the same thing. And it's just kind of the survival mode that a lot of children who are part of the system that have to fight for their position will go through, will exhibit. And yeah. I'm looking at this piece of wood. So I was cleaning my shelf earlier today, and the shelf where I keep like a lot of my little, I don't know, like shells and corals and my little trinkets and my card decks and things. And I found this kind of hidden behind some of the decks. And this was a piece of, I guess, driftwood of sorts that my oldest boy found when he was much younger. I think he found it either Bayfront or possibly, where did he say? Hawai'i, down in Kilkaha. Sometimes when I say names, it's just to be in relation to whoever's watching who is connected with this Aina. But I say that to say, I was staring at this piece of wood and looking at these intricate grooves. I don't know if you can see it or if it makes a difference. I was looking at these intricate grooves and patterns on this wood and these waves. They look like almost like hair waves, yeah? And obviously the shape is much like a knife or a dagger of sorts. But it was naturally shaped this way. And I was looking at it today, thinking about this girl, thinking about the girl that lies within me, that is still me. That inner child that still calls out for help, that still calls out for guidance from source. And I smiled because this piece of wood reminds me that Mama Earth, right, which was created by source to nourish us, to fill us with life, always gifts us with the tools that we need to protect us as we travel through the darkness of this world. Whatever we need is within us. We are like this wood, this material. We're drifting on oceans thousands of miles from home, you know, not sure which shore we are going to arrive on. Not knowing that the journey has shaped us in such a way that nobody can fuck with us. But sometimes it's just hard because we face people that we have to yield our weapons or bear our weapons upon. The people that stomp or trample or abuse physically, mentally, spiritually, psychologically, whatever the case may be, we have to guard ourselves from them. And sometimes at younger ages, and when I was thinking about the case and thinking about like the things that were being stirred up within self, it was just heavy. It was just a lot. So when I was mentioning this driftwood traveling thousands of miles, right, and not even realizing that the journey reshapes us, the water energy of this Scorpio season, this moon rising is very very fluid, in a sense that there's a reason why we are going through this journey. It is to shape us. It is to make us understand, be mindful of. It's unfortunate that some of us fall victim way too soon to the journey. But some things happen for a reason. Some people have to go through things for a reason in order for other people to see the truth, to have their aha, like Oprah said, the aha moments in their lives where it really changes their course and it really changes what they want from life. It changes their mindset and their state of spirit in such a way that is more beneficial. It elevates and lifts and raises their vibrations so that they can continue to learn and continue to grow and continue to rise and return back to source. So yes, this tragedy, the tragedy of not only this girl, the tragedy of life itself that lives within us, and those traumas and those triggers that come up that sometimes we don't face, we sweep under the rug or under the bed, or we just hoard and pile shit on top and in front of so we can't see it. You know, these are real things that happen, not only in a spiritual sense, but in a physical sense. People be, you know, cluttering themselves in, almost like entrapping themselves in materialistic things so as to block out the world and block out the devastation and the destruction of the world. But something told me today, this shit has to be seen and thrown on the motherfucking fire. Create that fire within. Create that fire without. Go motherfucking light a bonfire or some shit. I don't know. Smoke that shit out. Sage that shit out. Cleanse that shit out. Because it doesn't belong within. It sat there long enough. Now it's time to motherfucking cleanse. There are so many spaces within our bodies, within our minds, within our hearts, within our spirits, within ourselves. We can't be in denial that, oh, I'm all good. I'm all good. Oh, well, you know, this happened to me when I was young. Or like, you know, I went through this and, you know, but, you know, I'm perfect. I'm good. Like, look at me. I turned out fine. No, bitch. Take accountability for the fucking days you are not fine. Where you be wanting to sit up on your bed and motherfucking just be over it. Be done with the shits. Be fucking, let me go. Let me go. Because those days are fucking real. Those days come. Those days where you're sitting in the motherfucking shower rocking and crying and shit. Trying not to wake up the fucking house by crying all silent. Those ugly days. Those days where you're like, why the fuck am I here? What the fuck am I doing? Who the fuck am I? But you know, when I was doing my nails earlier, because I couldn't come on here with some ratchet ass, bust up old nails. So I was like, you know what? Let me just put on these. And these are just press-ons because I have 2 younger ones. And mama's always ready just in case, you know. Just in case, I gotta pop off some motherfucking nails for any rescue type situations, you know, always my cocoa ready. So I don't get acrylics and stuff like that. That's just too much. And I don't want them ruining my real nails too much. So I do the quick and easy. But as I was doing my nails, right, I have a container that I keep all my like nail tips and glues and files and my supplies, right? And I opened that up and I was sifting through for something, and this card was just laying like in between the side and some of my nail polishes. This is the card of intuition. This card is 22. And I want to see if I can show you what that ring light, man. Oh well, for a second. But anyway, this card has the elements of the pueo sitting. It almost looks like on a pohaku, on a rock. It's like she has this pohaku. This is coral. Anyway, she has this pohaku, right? And she has this pueo, this owl sitting right in her heart and solar plexus area. And to the side of her, she has this black cat. I've always connected with the pueo ever since I was younger. That intuitive, that dark night energy, that delving into the deepest parts of you, that delving into the fear that rises up within you, that tries to suffocate you and snatch your soul into that deep pit of despair, you know. I always was intrigued, and you know, owls can see at night. They're night birds. I mean, here in Hawaii, we do have like a day owl, our pueo. But in other parts, in other regions, the owl is looked at as kind of like an omen of inducing fear towards the dark side, the death, the adversities to come, the uncertainties, yeah. Like it's an omen for something bad gonna happen. But for me, I never felt that way about the pueo or about the owl. I felt like the owl sees, she is from this realm, but can see into the dark. It's like that movie Insidious. Insidious comes to mind because like, I've always grown up with scary movies and shit, but like some kind of rock me a little bit more. And that one did, because I've had experiences, I've had visions, I've had, when I say experiences, I mean like I've had experiences where we're in that shadow realm, we're in that other dimension, we're in between the subconscious and the conscious world, within the mind and within the spirit. And in that movie, there was a lot of like, the visuals was almost like, you know, they would hold the lanterns into the dark and it would illuminate a little part of the space, and it would look like a room or an environment that they were in, that, you know, kind of like this background. It was like, it was gray, it was foggy, you know, we're in the in-between. But of course it was more spooky and more like, you know, than this. But it's like she's doing the same thing. It's like she's holding up this owl, which is almost like her lantern of light, because it's piercing into that dark space, that dark environment. And the cat as well. I always connected with cats because they kind of got a little bit of my, I think cats and Capricorn personalities vibe pretty well, because they're very much like observant of the other beings, the other entities that are in their space. They like to check shit out. They like to analyze and think. They like to sense, or not sense. They like to take the time to see if they like you, you know? And I've always been that way with people. I've always kind of taken my time, and a lot of the times I can read when an energy or a vibe is just not on my frequency, or just not gonna ever really mesh or mold with mine. And so I can read very well into people without really reading into it too deeply. It's just like, no, all right, hell no, okay, you know. It's just a quick scan, almost like an owl doesn't sit there and think whether, is that a mouse that I see in the darkness scurrying across the field, you know, while I'm sitting perched on the tree. Or it doesn't analyze its abilities, and it doesn't analyze its abilities to see in the dark and to recognize what it's looking at. Like the cat, the same way with the night vision. They're just more insightful, more intuitive creatures. And so I've always identified with that. But yeah, I got this card, Intuition, and I just thought, and then the number 22. I'm gonna have to look that up, but 22 repetitive numbers of intuition. It gave me a little reassurance. I was about to say insurance, but that too. It gave me a little reassurance that I'm speaking from a place of intuition. I'm speaking from a place of guidance. I'm speaking from a place of experience, and I don't script this. I can't script it. I just have to speak. And like I've said in other videos, this is a space where I can come connect with self and spirit and really just dive into the truth-seeking and truth-speaking aspect of life on my terms and in my way. That may help someone out there. So in saying all of that, I just kind of want to go through these guidance cards. Actually, hold up. This is a little guidance deck that I got a while ago that I hardly use, but this is resonating because of all of the earth energy that I was pulling in the last few videos. The Whispering Woods. Now, this is just a fun little deck. It's nothing serious. It's not tarot. But I haven't used it, and I just want to get, they're just little sayings, and I just want to get a message. Oh, okay. All right, so first one, second one, third one. What do we need today? Kindness. We need kindness, and we need to let go. We need to let go. Sit up taller. Don't be defeated. I feel like I always do this, and I'm like, I'm carrying a lot of weight sometimes until I remind myself. Who the fuck are you? You know. Believe it. Transform. So we got kindness, let go, transform. Take respite by a pond and be kind to yourself and others. The kindness helps facilitate the ability for us to let go of issues that have caused us to want to defend ourselves, protect ourselves from the evil, from the darkness that exists, right? But without kindness, that light within you will continue to dim and dim and dim. This is one of the ways to keep the fire burning bright. This is one of the fuels to the fire. And when we are able to let go, to release the things that don't serve us, to release the darkness from within us, by lighting it up, lighting that shit up with a little bit more kindness, that is when we are able to transform. Emerge. I like that word. Emerge. 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 With beauty and grace from your cocoon. That reminded me of the butterfly energy I was talking about. Spread your wings and prepare to fly, for you have become a butterfly. Oh, fly abandonedly into the sun. Yeah, the cocoon energy where we're wrapped and we're going through this transformation of self, guided by our intuition, forward, through all the darkness, through all the pain, through all the traumas, through all the triggers, plodding along, not even knowing where the fuck we're going through that dark space around us, that insidious space. But we have to realize the light is within. The light that we carry is fueled, self-fueled by ourselves within us. We have the power to not let that light go out, so we can be the guide to others, so we can inspire others to transform as well into the beautiful butterflies and the beautiful creations that they were meant to be. Because sometimes it'll be a butterfly form, and other times it'll be an eagle or an owl or another animal-like essence. You know, the elephant I was drawing from last week. So I'm going to go ahead and I just like these inspirational guidance cards, but I'm going to draw from the African Goddess Oracle and see what we got cooking up on the message board for today. Because I feel like we need to be gentle with our inner child today. I feel like we need to give a little bit more love, despite the fact that we want to be warrior-like. We want to be fierce. We want to strike those that strike against us, right? Can't fight fire with fire. It's time to bring another element, another softness, yeah? So I'm going to go ahead and shuffle and see what Spirit wants us to know in this moment of healing. Oh wait, hold on. This isn't even a card that belongs in the deck, but what did we get? This is a time for rebirth. Wow. How did this end up in this deck? And I didn't see it. It's like literally the same size card. Rebirth was meant for us to see. This is a time of rebirth, and we have the card under the number 8. 8, like the infinity. Eternal. Fertility. Resurrection, restoration, reincarnation. We will rise again. Portal energy. Okay, let me see. Any more clarity, Spirit? Mahalo. Mojaji, manifestation. We got the card of manifestation. Wow. So far, even like unintentionally, I got the intuition card. Speaking, searching from our intuition, our na'au. And then we got the death, the rebirth card. And then we just picked card number 9. Oh, wow. 22, 8, 9. This is a Mojaji manifestation card. I want to just see what they have to say in the booklet. What goddess this is. So Mojaji, goddess of manifestation for the Balobedu of South Africa. She's the temple of conjurers. All of that energy that's conjured up through the bloodlines, that's conjured up within self to be looked at, to be transmuted and shifted, changed, the perspective to be recognized and grown from, the experience to be learned from. This one says, Goddess Mojaji is the hereditary reign queen of South Africa's Balobedu people, a matrilineal queendom. Mojaji's daughters dance to the frequency of rain. Well, today, it started to rain really hard. And I remember being on the phone with my mom and hearing the thunder, and we were talking about a dream that I had some years back and how it was premonitory, and it conjured up an insight, an ability of really tapping into my intuition. And as we were speaking about that ability, the thunder rolled very loudly, and throughout the conversation it continued, but that just reminded me the energy of today, the rain, the thunder, the lightning, and that we pull this card. And you can even see, I don't know if you can see, it looks like this is even her hair, yeah, like it's not just wrap, but like this is all her afro, is the storm clouds and the rain raining down. But these are like coins of abundance, of blue sky and fluffy white clouds. Abundant weather, pleasant weather is your reward, is the manifestation that even through the rain you can make tomorrow be brighter and be happier and be sunnier. The sun energy. Yeah. So this card says, showers of blessings are yours. You are a rainmaker, master manifester, shapeshifter, alchemist, and sorceress. Open your hands and heart. Yes, make it rain. You are manifesting big. This has been a long time coming. You are co-creating with spirit. Match the energetic frequency, the ashe of your desire. You are magnetic. And like attracts like. Raise your vibrations to align with the sacred. Close your eyes and see your blessings. Feel them in your bones. Ask, believe, act, allow, receive. Definitely a message we need to hear as we continue to nurture ourselves through these dark periods, these dark waves that are crashing, these stormy weathers, you know, nurturing ourselves through the storm. Gosh, that song keeps coming up, that song by Mariah. It just keeps playing because of the weather, and then there's this, I can make it through the rain, I can stand up once again on my own, cause I know that I'm strong enough to make it every time I turn around. Oh my gosh, so yes, I'm feeling like I'm gonna draw off of the African Goddess card. I just want one more message to send us off into the remaining parts of this day or night. Words of encouragement, uplifting, truth. Where are we at right now in our divine goddesshood and in our divine godhood? Ooh. I'm gonna go with this. We are at Queen of Sheba. We are at Queen of Sheba. Wow. She's from the Temple of Queens. She is the goddess of secrets revealed, Ethiopia. In the Bible, the wealthy Queen of Sheba brings a caravan of gifts to King Solomon. The Ethiopian holy book reveals that she was their Queen Makeda, and that together they sired King Menelik I. So Queen of Sheba, her guidance. Open your eyes. Open your eyes. Secrets are being revealed. It is safe for you to see the truth. Your inner vision is crystal clear. You don't know what you don't know. Your creator, ancestors, angels, spirits and ascended masters are whispering to you. This is divine intelligence. Pay close attention. There are things you do not let yourself see. Allow yourself to be guided and choose your own path. So that is the energy for today. I appreciate you guys being here, taking the time to just listen, to receive. And I trust that your day will carry forward in much love, much light, much abundance, much guidance, and much protection of wellness, health, strength, and eternal love. So yes, I will see you guys in my next video. Until then, stay lifted, keep rising, and yeah, love, light, and always aloha.